How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the test server. We are on the Fastidious test server, and we're going to be testing out, at long last, Iovar. Oh my god, this is my most wanted hero for over 2 months now. I've been waiting non-stop. He's finally coming tomorrow, so I'm releasing this Guild Boss Showcase Iovar guide. I want to make it kind of on the shorter side by my way too long of video standards, so we're going to get right into the battle very shortly. If you want to see full kit breakdowns, about 3 or 4 days ago, I put a video out when I broke down the banner with him and Carnelian, and I really dove deep into how his kit works. This is really going to be all about Guild Boss and how he absolutely shines. This guy is a monster. He is a very good DPS. I would not say like elite DPS, but a very high-end DPS. And his Lord skill is not so for enabling the godlike DPSs of the game. So you're going to see, not only does he put out some real numbers, but he creates a new, potentially a real meta comp in the Piercers by just bringing Silas and Hex to somehow an even higher level, because we already know they're ridiculously strong. 2 other things, guys. I freaking love Iovar, so if you don't just care about Guild Boss and you want to see some other PvE, tomorrow I'll do a 321 guide with far lesser gear than you see here, really highlighting Iovar. He's nuts. I love this hero so much. He's my favorite hero in the game. I adore him. And also, I'm pushing for 15,000 subscribers. I announced this 2 days ago, and since then we've gotten 300 new subscribers. We're less than 700 subs away. If we hit that number within 5 days by May 22nd, I will give away 15 free account takeovers. Hope we make it, guys. Thank you so much. So basically what we're going to do, we've got these 2 comps here. We're going to run a Piercer team with a Nightmare team. I'll have to throw in a couple disclaimers and kind of explaining why this is the comp we're using. And then we're going to immediately put in Aracha, and we'll do a direct comparison. So let's actually start there. Why are we not running an Infernal team? People love Infernals. They love Infernals. I love Infernals when it comes to Guild Boss. Well, I will tell you, because Iovar is a unit you're going to want to use for DPS, the numbers are big, and because to enable his Lord skill you need him deployed, he's going to take up another platform spot. So why does that matter if he's bringing another platform spot? Well, you can only fit so many people into Dolores' range and on the platforms while also having Hollow there, while also doing some Laurel cycling, and you just run out of platforms. So actually, maybe I enter the battle. We're not going to do a full, this will not be the full run right now. This is still the teaching moment, but I want to show you what we're dealing with here. So basically, this is how we will end up deploying them. We're going to put, I always love to put Hex here. The timings don't matter, whatever. We'll put Silas there, fine. I grabbed the wrong one. Then we'll do something like this, something like this. Normally, I would switch those 2. It doesn't really matter, especially now that we don't have Aracha. Then you put Dolores, then I put Iovar here, and that's the perfect spot. I know some people have been saying it's hard to use him because you don't Laurel cycle with him. That's another thing we'll touch on. He ults constantly. You do not need to Laurel cycle with him at all. He was made to be put in that spot. He's a god in that spot. And then you go here, right? So what are we working with now? We already have deployed 6 units. We can only deploy 2 more. And what other platforms? If I wanted to bring a Soul Cadence and a Cetrum, where do they go? We've run out of spots, right? Sure, you can cycle in one later when you pick up Laurel, right? When you're going to take advantage of her talent. But are you going to put one here next to Hex? Or well, I guess normally I have Hex there next to Silas. No, right? They're not in Dolores range. It's not really viable. Could you run perhaps, let's say, like Twin Fiend? You know, not someone like Soul Cadence that you're going to want putting up huge damage, so maybe it doesn't matter that he's not in the range of Dolores? Yeah, you could, and that would be viable. And then let's say you cycle in like a Nocturne or a Cetrum in this spot, and you get Zealotue on the floor over here. That would work, but to me, that's suboptimal. You really want as many amazing DPSs deployed as long as possible, ideally the whole fight, and you want them in Dolores range. So the solution here is we bring Arrogance and we bring Lust, and we run a Nightmare comp. Then, you know, normally we have Laurel there, then we pick her up, and then we have that flex spot, that cycle spot. Then that's where we're going to put Volca, and then at other times, you know, depending on the cycling, that's where we're going to put Torador. I have tried this as well by bringing Sargok and cycling him into where we pick up Laurel from, the same way I just said you could put like Cetrum or Nocturne. I don't find that so viable. Sargok's tough in Guild Boss because you heal him up a lot. Someone like Calypso's not going to work as well because she can't really be a cycle unit. She needs to be on the floor for a long time to get all her seal stones going. So really, I think that's the way to do it. Bring a Volca, go for some rapid cyclings. Even though Laurel cycling will not directly benefit the rage of Iovar, that's not such an issue because every time Silas and Hex ult, the benefit of cycling them will also benefit Iovar because his passive gets boosted when these marksmen ult. So we will have to go through his kit very briefly, but I hope that makes sense. I do think the meta when you're going to run these Iovar comps absolutely will be pairing these Piercer teams with Nightmare teams, and it works super well. It really does. And I will say another benefit he has before you just see how we actually use him, he's so much easier to use. Like, people are going to have so much more reliable auto runs as they're progressing to beating thresholds before they get really good, because there's no real timing stuff. Like, of course there's some timing things, but there's no lockout mechanic like with Twin Fiend or Soul Cadence or Pyros. I will talk you through the optimal times to trigger his ult and Dolores's and the other Piercers and Marksmen. But all in all, it's a really cool comp, and I'm really excited to get into it. The other thing I want to say is I just want to have a direct comparison. So we're going to bring Aracha in. Now you can say, but now what are we going to do? Now we basically have 4 units you might want to cycle, right? Because we have some suboptimal DPS options. We have Laurel, obviously not a DPS, and then we have Torador. Aracha is going to be there, right? We'll have Aracha, and then we'll have Volca. Well, I think this is what we have to do, because if I want to do a proper apples-to-apples comparison, I think to make this work, we'd have to take out Volca and bring some other higher-end Nightmare DPS, so someone like Lugaru, or someone like Salazar, or someone like Valeria, but at that point, it's like totally different comps. Aracha's still going to be viable, but you're just going to see Iovar's just better, especially if you've got these kind of premium piercers. But that being said, if you only had Hex or Silas, then you can bring in a Calypso, ideally an A5 Calypso, and then she will be in one of those permanent spots, be on the floor the whole time, and do really cool stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let me show you what this is all about. I will very, very quickly take you through his kit if you don't know how it works. He summons these flying swords. He's going to consume swords. He does big burst damage on his ultimate. If you can reach the max of 12 swords, cool things happen. When there are extra marksmen, and they do not have to be in his faction, they don't have to be piercers. When you have extra marksmen on the field, it's the amount of time it takes to conjure the swords is not as long. Because we're going to be running him and 2 allied marksmen, not a full 4, we're going to instead have this decrease only by half. So it starts at 4 seconds. If there are 4 other ally marksmen, and they can be from any faction, it will go down to 2 seconds. It's half a second per allied marksman, so this will be a conjured sword every 3 seconds. Let's go to the other skills here very quick. This is huge. The basic attack is amazing, right? It pairs really well with his last passive, but most importantly, it is a double hitter. Each hit counts as an individual instance of damage, an individual attack. Thus, each hit helps you build rage. He builds rage lightning quick. Like, I'm not joking. You won't believe it. It's about 11 seconds between ults. He is ulting all the time. And again, that plays really, really nicely into his passive, as you're going to see when you use him in Guild Boss. So why specifically in Guild Boss and not other content? Well, you'll see here, you're kind of heavily encouraged by his kit to always ult with him when he's conjured a full 12 swords and he's hit the maximum. He consumes all of them, you deal continuous damage 40% per hit, and at the maximum, he's going to do 60 strikes. He does 5 strikes, 5 individual attacks per sword that he's conjured and then consumed. So, if he had 5 swords, that'd be 25 strikes, and if he has a full 12, it's 60. So you might be thinking, all right, well, let's get up to 12. It takes a long time to get 12, and his ult is ready so quickly, you're going to kind of want to just spam it. So how does this work with the rest of his kit? If we look at Victorious Pursuit here, upon casting, the ultimate reduces the attack interval. So it's kind of really encouraged. Ult as much as possible. Let's reduce that attack interval. Let's make him lightning quick. Then each attack is also going to deal 75% damage 3 times, so 225% damage on the basic instead of 120. That's 105% more. And then there's this stipulation that makes you think, all right, I really need to consume 12 swords, right? If an ultimate consumes 12 flying swords, duration of the effect lasts 5 seconds. But the effect already lasts 10 seconds, and I told you, after he finishes ulting, it only takes about 10, 11, 12 seconds for him to ult again, without even a very high attack speed build. As you can see, we're only at 370. It's nuts. He's just ulting all the time. So specifically for Guild Boss, you're just going to want to spam that ult. Time it out a bit, with the ults of your other marksmen to take advantage of this over here. And then, of course, when it lines up, make sure you ult with Dolores before him. But you kind of can spam the ult, and that's the way to use him really effectively. If we go now to the passive, after an allied marksman casts their ultimate, gains 1 flying sword, and the following 3 basic attacks of this hero ignore an extra 30% defense. So ideally, you want to do this before he ults. while Dolores is going, and then you ult. So you conjure the other sword, you get the basic attack out, you ignore the defense, then you ult, and you're ulting while Dolores is going. You kind of get the picture, right? So let me quickly talk about Awakenings. We're going to run him at A0. I will say, for Guild Boss specifically, his A1 is awesome, because you're never going to ult with him in Guild Boss, never with a full 12 swords. So this 40% chance after he ults, and he ults constantly, having that 40% chance to generate another 4 flying swords, that's just a lot more damage. That is huge. For normal content, it won't matter as much, because you definitely will get him full. If you're using him in Void Rift, if you're using him in Styx, if you're using him in, there's so many places you could use him. Gear Raid 3, you can definitely time this out very nicely for 12 swords. You might not want to all the time, but you can. It's a great awakening regardless, but specifically for Guild Boss, it's great. Plus 300 attack is cool. Airborne enemies, that's a little Lord skill boost. This one, Victorious Pursuit, specifically for Guild Boss, doesn't matter, because the extra 5 seconds, we don't even need the 15 seconds to begin with. It kind of guarantees that this is always going, because he'll always ult again before that 15 seconds runs out, once the 15 seconds becomes the base. But you can actually, in Guild Boss, you'll see, and if we built him even faster, it would happen even faster. We built him with more rage regen. The guy's flying, man. He's flying. Plus 8% crit rate. And then this one, when deployed immediately, 12 flank swords. Gonna be a lot better for like arena and then like nuking bosses and other content. Guild Bosses, it just helps with that first burst, which comes up like instantaneously, as you're about to see. All right. I think we understand everything. Let's soldier on. Let's get into this fight. I can't wait to show you guys. So let's enter. I guess final disclaimer, if we get an initial bad roll of RNG on Dolores, I will restart. I'll do the same thing when we do a Racha. Aside from that, we're just going to run it through. I'm going to talk you through everything that's going on here. I'm stoked, man. I love this guy. I'm pulling 135 Ancients tomorrow. I've been saving for so long, and I really, really hope I get him. Wish me luck. Are you guys pulling? Let me know in the comments. Let's go. So we got Hex over here. Now I'll get Laurel. See, I always like to put Hex there. Then we'll do Silas. Now we do Dolores, and I'll show you all the builds at the end, guys. And I will say, Iovar, the best 3 builds go Hex, Silas, Iovar. So can keep that in mind when you see the final numbers. And keep in mind, the big numbers Silas and Hex put are going to be especially big because of how good Iovar's Lord skill is, which I did not go over. I'll put a picture up of it right now. It's every 20 seconds. All faction allies gained another 15% damage increase permanently. This stacks up to 3 times, so after a full minute, it's a 45% permanent damage boost. For a long fight like Guild Boss, we're going to have, what, 3 minutes and 45 seconds plus of all those marksmen himself, all those piercers himself included, a 45% damage boost. That's amazing. Okay, now we get Iovar down, and now we do Hollow. I went in that order because Hollow, Laurel, and Dolores are all wearing Invig. So I'll show you in a second. Let me just get these guys down. We'll put, we'll put Arrogance here, and we'll put Lust here. You'll see all these guys are in Invig. So if I click on here, we got the Invig buff. Here, we got the Invig buff. Here, we got the Invig buff. And now we're kind of good to go. We wait. And a good first example here. Iovar is ready. Don't ult with him, not until you've already ulted with Hex and with Silas, because you'll see the sword will appear. When you ult with an allied marksman, you conjure a sword. So that's just going to help with his ult. You only have to wait very shortly. Don't always do this, but when the timings line up, there's no reason not to. Conjure another sword. Now we can trigger. Now we go. Shout out to Zucania, who taught me always trigger Dolores before Lust. It's a great tip, because in case Lust's ult is the one that triggers her Sinful Lash. So let's go. I mean, at the beginning you can count it, and we know it is because Arrogance ulted. Now she ulted, so now she's doing the Sinful Lash passive while she is buffed by Dolores with the Inspiration. But that's a story for another day. This is not a Lust guide. We wait. Now we pick up. Everyone got the damage boost, and now you can kind of decide who you want to put down first. I like the vulnerabilities because it's going to help Hex. So we're going to do Volca first, and now we're kind of off to the races. And it's just really smooth. It's really good. It's really cool. I love his animation. Let me actually pick my head up so I'm not in the way. Sorry about that, guys. And yeah, as soon as we can, we're going to trigger it with Iovar, and you'll see that nice little flurry of swords, and we're just going to, like, you can time it out. It's crazy. So that was at about 60, I think. Look how quickly he's going to be ready again. It's nuts. Get a little Hollow going. He just cycles. Now we'll conjure no sword. Watch on his back. We trigger here. We conjure a sword. Just appeared. Now we'll wait as well. Yeah, so there it's about 13 or 14 seconds. Let's go again. It's really cool. You can trigger this. So it's 15 seconds on Laurel. Let's see again. I love it, man. I really do. You can see we're already putting up a really big number. I'm expecting to get about 60K. Really nice heroes here. But, you know, I think only Hex is at A1 of our legendaries, and my gear on test server, it's good, you're going to see, but it's not like game breaking at all. Let's trigger Lust. Let's wait. So it's at 15. Just it's about every 14 seconds now, 14 or 15 seconds. So I oversold it a bit, but I did time it out earlier, and I was almost certain it was 12 seconds. But there you go, pretty cool stuff. We're gonna hold for a second here to get the damage boost from Laurel. Let's see. So let's pick up Volca. So now he'll get the damage boost. Nice. We wait. All right, we pick up. Now we can put Torador down, and that's kind of it. Now we're just gonna be cycling. The key things to know, you know, you really just want to, when you can, when it does line up, make sure to trigger the allies first, you know, as long as you're not missing up, there's not too much downtime and stuff, because you're going to conjure extra swords, and make sure when you can that Dolores is ulting. That's just a general rule to boost all your damage. But you can see we're looking really, really good. We'll definitely be 20k plus by the second shield. And yeah, that's kind of how it works here. I think I'll probably just fast forward the rest of this because, like I said, I don't want it to be. So this is actually a perfect example. 99% for Hex. No reason not to wait to beat Hex. Conjure that sword, now do Iovar, right? But okay, I think I'm just going to go through the battle. I'm not going to full, like, normally I go 5 times speed. I'll go like 3 times speed so you can follow along decently well, but I don't want to waste too much of your time. But you'll see, we're kind of cruising, baby. We're off to the races. I'll pick this up with like a minute left. Okay, here we go now, guys. We're about to reach the shield, and we're looking really good. We just reached the 3rd shield, and we're already at 42.4k. I will say I also missed a couple little clicks here and there. Been pretty close to optimal, but, you know, there were like 2 suboptimal things I did. I missed a Lust click, and I was slightly early on a Volca pickup. But yeah, we're talking a couple hundred blood, not more than 1,000. But you can see we actually just, with well over a minute left, minute 07, we got a 51.6. Let's see where we're at exactly a minute. Oh, here's a little Iovar. This is right on the borderline if I'm going to wait for Silas. It doesn't matter because you still get the sword for the next one, so we're actually going to trigger with him right away before Dolores runs out. And let's see. Look at this, man. Look at that. When you see the gear, I think you'll get it. That's darn impressive. 53.1 with a full minute left. Let's kind of go off to the races here and see how well we can do. Let's pick up right as Torador finishes. Laurel's going to be ready. Don't trigger with Silas yet. Let's get a little boost. Let's see. Awesome. We have to wait for Hex here. That lined up pretty poorly for us, unfortunately. We won't wait for Hollow, though. Or maybe she'll even come first. Yeah, this is some rough timing. Still should be a big number. Come on, guys. Let's go. Trigger. Come on, Hex. Trigger. That worked out with Dolores anyway. At this point, we wait for Iovar. Kind of fell apart at the end. At this point, we wait for Lust. It's okay. It's okay. Let's go. Let's pick up. I'm trying to take advantage of those damage boosts, you know. And now the freaking thing is there. It's so annoying. Are you serious? What a sad ending to such an amazing run. Come on. Does it even matter? No, we're just going to put her here. Doesn't matter. Because we got to get that ult. And of course, as I drop her, the shadow whatever Komodo guy disappears. Alas, that's how it goes, baby. That's how it goes. Let's see. Yeah, this is lining up really good. Should get another Dolores trigger right now, I think. Come on. Let's see. I think I'm correct. Yes. Yeah, I'm glad I waited. Ooh, and then also let's get quickly a little vulnerabilities. I hope this is optimal. Yeah, I don't think we would have been able to get a second one. Maybe actually we exactly would have just gone a second one if I didn't do that. But you can see with 62k, it's actually this is the 3rd or 4th time I've done a full run. I've done a lot of starts to runs. This is our best little attempt here. It's a big number, man. It really is. It's some nice stuff. So yeah, there was a couple tiny little bits of suboptimal stuff. That I don't think they counted that last hit, but just about 65k. Don't knock me too hard for it in the comments. I think it was a pretty nice run. Let's show you that damage now. And you can see he's ranking super nicely. When you see these builds, Like I said, not all the builds are perfect, but the gear's pretty good. He boosts Hex through the moon. You'll see with Aracha, this is a big old number he's enabling. Same thing with Silas, breaking 100 million. And then he's kind of right there in between Lust and Arrogance. I think this kind of damage is supremely impressive. I think with Awakenings, it only goes way higher. If you want to see that, I can make a separate video. Who knows? Maybe I'll pull Iovar. I've got 4 Soul Stones, so maybe I think I'll A3 him for sure if I pull him. I love this guy. So he's not only putting up some big boy damage, he's really enabling our 2 best DPS. It's definitely like the easiest of the main metas that's gonna be. And as you're going to see right now, we'll do an Aracha run. He definitely outclasses her. I'll even do my best to try to clean up the couple tiny mistakes I had in this run, and maybe we can have Aracha perform a bit better. Obviously, the runs aren't going to be perfect in terms of blood because Aracha is just not going to put up the DPS Iovar can, and we'll deploy her just to keep all else equal. And she's also going to take up a floor spot, so then like Volca and Torador won't be in Dolores range. Like I said, it's imperfect, but it's just kind of show you if these are the pieces you're working with, he's such a huge benefit. He's such a huge upgrade. And yeah, really let's focus on these numbers. I'll put them side by side at the end, but we're looking at just less than 180 million for Hex and just about 104, 105 million for Silas. All right, so we're going to do a direct swap now, put all that gear onto Aracha, and we are going to see what happens here. Before we swap all this over to Aracha, let's show the builds. So you can see we got our 3 main guys here all in Soulbound Arcana. The best is going to be on Hex. So if we look there, Hex is rocking 13.7 attack, 1.1 second interval with 416 attack speed. He's crit capped at 353. Hex is a 1. As you can see, everyone else is a 0. For the artifact, Hex is rocking a maxed out exclusive artifact. Why the heck not? Silas, same thing, running a maxed out exclusive. This is the test server, baby. Let's have some fun. If we look at Silas's Soulbound Arcana, pretty nice stuff. Pretty good gear, not on the level of what Hex had, but it's nice. 14.5, ton of attack. It's pretty good gear. 1.2 second attack interval. It's not too fast. 338 attack speed. It's solid though, and he's crit capped. Nice little build there. Not too much rage regen going on. I'll also show the Pantheon right after this. Then for Iovar, he's in the next tier down, so keep in mind he's in like the 3rd worst gear. Let's show you here. He's in 14.1. He is a 1.1 second interval. He's capped in 334. I mean, it's still a good build. They're all in pretty solid builds. For his artifact, we're rocking him in a max out Spirit Siphon. Really, really nice artifact for him, no question. I'm sure they will add him in an exclusive, and I'm really excited to see what it is. Or I sure hope they do. I shouldn't say I'm sure they will, because a lot of the ancient exclusive legendary lords don't have them yet. But I would think eventually he'll get one. But for now, amazing, and it even kind of matches his aesthetic, I think. So there you go. Those are our big Piercer boys. Now, if we look at Arrogance, he's an Infernal Roar, which is not perfect for him, but it works for a lot of the damage he puts out is counted as basic attacks, and I was running out of Soulbound that was worthwhile. It's a really nice build, though. 15.9, crit capped, and almost 400% crit damage, even some Rage Regen, which is great on Arrogance. He's a 0, and then for the artifact, we put him in a maxed out Realm Tear. For Lust over here, she's in a maxed out Wailing Skull. She also was in Soulbound Arcana, but this one's definitely a step down. 14.3, 1.5 second interval, so not too fast at 341. Crit capped 321. Still quite a nice build. I do think so. And yeah, those are all our DPS. We got Volca over here. She's in really nice Infernal Roar. I can show you 16.9, 1.4 second attack interval, 337 attack speed, 319 crit damage. Rocking her in a maxed out Wailing Skull as well, because why not? And who did I miss? Our epics, I presume, right? Oh, Torador, I will show you. He is going to be also an Infernal Roar. It works pretty solid for him. 16.2, 1.6 second interval, about 3/4 way crit capped, 292. Not awesome stuff. And he's in a maxed out Astral Obelisk because we want to get that ult up quickly when we deploy him. Finally, we've got our epics. So Hollow, typical Hollow build, high attack speed, high rage regen. She's an Invig. These are our 3 Invig heroes. Then we've got Laurel in Invig. Her build really doesn't matter, but I did go for attack speed. But we never ult with her. Just as long as she doesn't die, her build, she could be, as long as she's in Invig, it doesn't even need to be leveled. She doesn't even need left side gear. Typical Dolores build, attack bonus with flat attack. You know how that goes. I got her attack really high, 12-7. We're running her in a Keen Wisdom. You totally could run her in a Golden Scarab as well. I guess that would be optimal here, but let's keep it consistent. I think this is fair. This is what most people run her in. And guys, here is the Pantheon on the test server. As you can see, perfectly even. I brought everything up to level 50, so you can see the bonuses right above my head. There you have it. Let's get going. There you go. All right, so let's go to Aracha now. Let's do the full switch. So we'll put all the gear from Iovar straight onto Aracha. Not going to do any kind of trickle down. I want everything else even. And then she's in her maxed out exclusive because why the heck not? Let's go for it. All right, I'm going to head into the run. I'll do the easy deploys. We'll make it to the first instance to see if Dolores gets the roll and we get the plus 300 rage costs. After that, I'll just speed it up and we'll check back in with like 30 seconds left or 45 seconds. Maybe at the 1 minute mark because that's what we did last time. That would be pretty nice. All right, let's head in here and let's see. I'll try to do everything absolutely perfect. A lot of moving pieces, but I think we're doing pretty good. All right, let's go over here. We'll get our sexy Hexy. We'll get Laurel. Now we get Silas. For Racha, we'll put her here. And we will give her the Invig just to make it exactly even. I know this is not exactly optimal, but I want a perfect apples to apples comparison. And then we will put Lust. I think the biggest thing is I want to see how much we're still able to do. We'll definitely still get our 50k, I think. And I want to see the changes in Silas and Hex damage. Remember, Hex put up about 180 and Silas put up about 105. They were both just a hair under those numbers. Just going to trigger people as they come. Not going to wait too long for Dolores. She takes a gosh darn eternity. She really, really does. I can 2x this part. Comes Hollow. I will wait for Lust, because I don't want to waste the Sinful Ash. Shout out to Zukania, even though I did waste one last run. And now we're good. We can pick up. And now another downside is we cannot fit these guys into healing range, nor can we fit them into Dolores range. So that's an issue with the platformers here, but it's okay. It's not like these two are going to put up such crazy damage. Now basically, let's see. Will Dolores get the roll? If she does, we're off to the races. I'll see you guys at the end of the run. Come on, baby. Let's see. Moment of truth. Are we going to have that? No, she did not. Okay, let me restart. We'll pick it up there. All right, ran it back. Moment of truth. Let's see. She got it, baby. Let's go. All right, see you guys at the end of the run. All right, guys, we just hit a minute, and you can see we're at 45.6. Pretty big difference from the 53. Obviously, there are the changes that we talked about, but this is a pure apples to apples, what we're doing right now. This is actually crazy timing. All these guys, I think, are too close to 100% for me to do a Laurel swap now. So I'm actually going to sit on this really quickly, but I will take you through the end of the run. You see, we're still comfortably going to blast through 50k. Kind of is what it is. As we get close, let's see with Torador. All right, let's pick the boy up. Let's get Laurel down. Quick. All right, let's go. I'll even wait for Hollow. That actually lined up pretty nice. Now we can pick up. Get Volca down. Still a good number. Let's trigger. Get those vulnerabilities from Volca. But you can see we're still not even at that 53 number. Just like a much more normal comp, you know? Everything just was kind of nuts with Iovar, like how much damage we were able to put out. I haven't done this exact run with Aracha with this exact gear like we're doing now. So there we go. We finally hit the 53 with 15 seconds left. We hit this with a minute left with Iovar. So there's a nice little comparison. I'm really curious to see the change in damage with Hex and Silas. I think that's the really giant thing that's happening here. Okay, that's kind of the end of the run. Let's see. Coming in at 55.76. Okay, let's check those stats. And there you go. So Hex was at almost 180. Now he's at 158.5. Silas actually went up. That's crazy. I don't know why. If anyone knows, it must just be RNG. That actually is crazy. Right about the same for arrogance and lust. You can see if you're talking about Raj as a hero, she ain't it, right? Iovar did 84 million, she did 24 million in identical gear. And these guys, their damage went down slightly because they weren't in range, but also their damage wasn't so much before. This is Hex. There's also the Hex RNG. The Sutra Copris kind of helps nullify that a bit. Very interesting with Silas doing the 110. I actually don't know what that's all about. I guess could it just be instances? Is there RNG baked into his exclusive artifact? I'm not 100% sure. But all in all, you can see from the total score, it's almost exactly 9k less blood. We did 64.9, and now we're at 55.7. I hope this paints a nice picture. My conclusion is he is a GOAT. He's amazing for Guild Boss. You might be like, well, Soul Cadence does more damage. Hell yeah, he does, but also soul damage hurts his team more. He is the best in slot when it comes to supporting his faction allies, and he does very, very good, very respectable damage. I'm a huge fan. I'm even more into him than I was before, and now that I've done this, I've thought of many, many other ways we can use him very effectively in other content, you know? Like, I really think he's going to be good in all PvE. I think he's going to be tremendous in PvP. I think that ult used properly is going to be like a delete button. And this is seeing him, you know, in one way it's really cool. He's cycling that ult like a madman, but, you know, we're not seeing him at full damage potential because we're not reaching full swords. I love the guy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope this was a good, effective showcase. This was a lot of work, so I really hope you appreciate it. And as I said in the beginning, tomorrow I'll have a big GV3 guide showcasing how insane he is there. And we won't use as busted out gear. We're just going to get it done like it's absolutely nothing because he's going to help Idril in a big way as well. I'm really excited to do it. I hope you guys like this stuff. We have an enormous pulls party for Iovar tomorrow. The link is on my Discord, link in the description to get to my Discord. Sign up. It's going to be an absolutely crazy day. And then on Sunday, I'll be joined by Destined, Jake Smash, and of course Zucania to do Venom's pulls. And that's going to be over 1,200 ancient summons for Iovar. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to make a game out of it. Hope to see you guys there. Comment, subscribe. We're trying to get 15K. See you guys real soon. Share it with your mother. I'm going crazy.
Fastidious.